What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
I'm with the band. Music and interviews you're going to like.
Hello and welcome to I'm with the Band here on the Mesh Podcast Network. I am your host, Andrew Moose. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, it invites musicians and bands of all types to discuss their current projects, touring life, and their lives as musicians. This episode of I'm with the Band is produced in partnership with the No Contact Concert Series, Codex Sound, and Midwood Entertainment. More about all that later. If you guys are considering advertising on the Mesh, on this show or other shows, it's a super low cost option to reach a targeted audience. And personally, I've heard the only people who listen to podcasts have a ton of money and all they want to do is spend it with your business. So please go to www.themesh.tv/advertise and you can find out all the information. So today, on today's podcast, we have someone who is a guitar player, a singer, a songwriter for this band that is going to have a brand new album out this weekend, May 20, I believe it's the 3rd, right? Silas
That is
Durocher
correct.
from the Get Right Band. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. Thanks for coming on. We're excited. Man, I got to listen to a little bit of that album. It really does sound fantastic, and it sounds like you guys have put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, so the album's called Itchy Soul. Like you said, it's coming out May 23rd. We recorded we this is our 5th album. We have 3 full-length CDs, 2 full studio CDs, an EP studio album, and then a live album was the last one we put out. So this will be our fifth record. And we wanted to do some really different things on this one. So one of the big things we did differently is that we didn't record it primarily in a studio. So we went into Echo Mountain here in Asheville, where the band lives, and recorded all the drums for the entire record at Echo Mountain Studio. And then we took the project home and did everything else at home, layered on bass, guitars, synthesizers, other keyboards, percussion, vocals, harmony vocals, all that stuff was just done at home. And we've never done that before. We mixed it ourselves. With help from consulting with various experts, but mostly handling a lot of it ourselves for the first time, which was a really interesting and cool experience with certainly a learning curve, but a lot of really cool benefits along the way.
Oh, I bet it definitely was a learning curve, especially trying to do it all yourself and overdubbing all the tracks yourself. That's a daunting task for a studio engineer, much less doing it all at home. So that's big kudos for you guys for taking that on and being able to produce a really good project at the end. That's awesome to see. I know a lot of folks are going to more of the remote route with this pandemic that we're living through and all that.
Yeah.
How have you and your guys got together to rehearse? Are you guys doing more? Are you just kind of taking a break right now? What's going on with the Get Right Band?
We're taking a break from everything that involves us all being in the same place.
Right.
But we have done some live streaming where we can be like in a yard, really spread out from each other. And we've been working on a number of like video projects. We wrote a social distancing song just as kind of a funny PSA, and each, shot video from our respective houses and edited that all together to, look like it was a live thing. And so we've been working on various video projects like that, but this whole pandemic hits at an interesting time in our cycle because you generally finish a record well before you put it out because you're leaving yourself time for publicity and promotion and mailing it to radio stations and all that stuff. So we have a lot of material that we're just kind of sitting on right now. So we were able to put out a music video during this time for the first single from the record, which is called Wired. And then we put out 2 more singles since then, a new music video that we made during quarantine. And then, of course, like we already said, the whole album's coming out. So it kind of came out at a good time for us, and insofar as a pandemic can come at a good time, where we had a lot of material to share already, which has been great. And it's such a weird thing to not be playing shows, because we always talk about connection. That's really what art and music and playing in a band is about. Connecting with each other in the band, but especially connecting with our fans. And it's really weird to not be able to go get that connection. So it's nice to have this material to put out and at least get some form of that connection, even if it's only through social media and email and stuff.
Right. I've talked to a lot of musicians over the years about different, their process and, what matters most to them in their craft. And the majority of them say it's interacting, it's playing in front of people. It's not the studio work. It's the out about playing in front of people, having people respond back to what they're doing and responding, with one another on stage. And, the folks that don't necessarily get to have that experience, it's one of a kind for musicians. And it's something that I miss that. And I'm sure you guys got to miss that more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just tell me a little bit about how the name Itchy Soul, the name of the new album, came about. Cause I've definitely got one of those.
Yeah.
how did that name come up?
Well, so it started with a song, the title track of the record. I honestly, I couldn't say where I came up with the phrase initially, just wherever, song ideas come from. And I wrote that song a while ago, and it was kind of, it felt at the time really different from anything else we've done before. It was a little more punky and a little more like poppy at the same time, and just kind of a different production approach that I saw going with it. And I remember recording just kind of a rough demo version at my house and sending it to my bandmates Jesse and JC and saying, would you guys even be interested in doing something in this direction? Is this too far out of left field, or does this feel good? And they were both really enthusiastic about it. And it's funny to think about that as a couple years ago, because now in the time that's passed, I feel like that's almost the epitome of where our sound is at now. Like it's not out of left field at all for where our sound has developed, but partially because we like the phrase, and a lot of people have said exactly what you said, that's, even though you don't know exactly what it means, you've got it, or you
Right.
connect with it. So we, and because that song musically kind of really exemplifies where we feel like we're at as a band right now. So that's how it ended up as the album title.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and listen to that title track, Itchy Soul, right here on The Mesh.
Disrespected, I can't stand all this rejection.
So, Silas, tell us a little bit about the festival scene. I know you guys are kind of in the psychedelic indie jam festival circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, tell me. I know, granted, a lot of them have been put on the shelf or even punted to 21. But
Yes.
and that's unfortunate. We all hate that because festivals
Yes.
are why we do this. I think it's a lot of fun. What festivals did you guys are on the bill for coming up, and what are some of the other festivals that you might have played in the past that you guys have enjoyed being a part of?
Yeah, well, there've been a few that we were really looking forward to that have already been canceled. Flow Jam, which is a yoga and music festival up in Northern Virginia. Well, not canceled, but postponed. Unfortunately, postponed to a date that we can't do. And a cool festival that Oscar Blues was putting on. But still coming up and hopefully happening are Bristol Rhythm and Roots, which will be our first time playing that. Though I've been as a fan, and it's obviously just a very cool festival there in Bristol, Tennessee slash Bristol, Virginia.
Right.
Um, and uh, let's see, what else have we done? We've done
Yeah.
Floyd Fest a couple times, which is
Yeah,
great.
I saw the Floyd Festival was also postponed to 2020, and that's the one I was wanting to talk to you about. Floyd Fest is, it is one of the premier festivals in the Southeast, and
Definitely.
I haven't had the pleasure to attend, and I was just wondering what is the vibe of that festival. I've only talked to a handful of people that's ever been to that festival, so I'd like to get some kind of like some insider input on that one.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about it is its size, because it's it's big enough to get some really major acts. Like when we were playing there, we saw Lauren Hill, we saw Michael Franti and Spearhead, um, Ziggy Marley. So a number of cool, really big acts, but it's small enough that it's not that experience of going to like Bonnaroo or something where it's almost just overwhelming with the density and of
Yeah.
people. And I think it seems like they've cultivated over the years just a really nice like group of people. They're people are really there for music lovers. I mean, I do feel like sometimes I go to certain festivals where maybe the party or the scene or the drugs seem to be the primary draw, which whatever, to each their own. But one thing I really enjoy about Floyd Fest is, while obviously it is a party and a scene, it does feel like a lot of people are really primarily there for the music, and that's just a cool energy to be in.
Oh, for sure. And when you have those folks radiating that energy back to you, that's what makes it. That's what makes those festivals so special. And I think you nailed it. And I think festivals of the size of Bonnaroo or Lock-In or something like that. Um, I'm not necessarily convinced that they're going to go back to that full scale event after this.
Yeah, I know.
Like 100,000 people out in the field in Tennessee. I just I don't see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, before this virus, I had a friend who described Bonnaroo as a fight for survival, and I it's a pretty intense experience. I mean, I've been, and obviously I saw a lot of amazing music, and there's a lot of fun to be had, but between the crowds and the heat and the time of year and the dehydration, and yeah, it's intense.
That hydrate or die really comes in the first week of June out there in
Yeah, I
Manchester, Tennessee.
remember I remember standing at the main stage watching Primus play. I can't remember what year this was, quite a while ago, and um, it was amazing. They're putting on an amazing show, but it was night, maybe 10 p.m. or something, and people were literally dropping like flies. Like I literally just saw people passing out, getting carried out, on a regular basis, just because they'd been probably drinking since 10 a.m. and not getting enough water
Yeah.
and the heat, and yeah, it's intense.
Yeah, for sure. And you know how those folks are. If they're close to the rail, they're not going to give that
Right.
spot up, and they're not going to waste time to go get some
Exactly.
water or something like that. So, but yeah, and I've really come to start to enjoy the smaller
Me too.
festival scene. The festivals that are under a couple thousand people, I think, is really the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess it's the sweet spot. And anything more than that just seems like it's just such an ordeal, and you have to worry about so much other things than just having a good time and camping with your buddies for a
Yeah,
weekend.
well,
But
one of our favorite festivals that we've played is actually a different festival in Floyd called Floyd Yoga Jam, and I don't know the exact numbers on that, but it's probably a few thousand, and it's just the perfect size. Like it's so mellow and on a really beautiful piece of flat land with a little creek running through it, and it just really it's kind of the epitome of what you're talking about. Just really cultivates the right kind of like-minded people and music focused people and health focused people, and it's just a really cool scene. And we're going to be playing that again
yeah,
this
not to
summer, coronavirus willing.
Yeah, not to mention having like a water source running through the middle of a festival venue. That's so much. I mean, that's
Totally,
game
yeah.
changer right there, especially in the middle
Mhm.
of the summer. So, hey, we're going to listen to another one right here. Silas, I want to let you pick one off the album, buddy. What do you want to let our listeners listen to here?
Let's listen to the last track on the album. This is called Can't Stand, and in some ways I think it's one of the most sonically different songs on the record, but it's probably my favorite at the moment. It's the one I'm most excited about.
I'm afraid if I blink, I'll never open my eyes, and I won't see the sign with my sight compromised. The sign is the story of the glory of lives, lived with compassionate compromise. So I don't sleep, don't weep, don't wait for fate, 'cause fate is too slow. I can't stand the way I can't stand the I'm afraid if I let the gods pass me a torch, one slip of my fingers and the whole world is scorched. Or if I linger much longer, this wig will expire, and it's a cold fucking world without
So, Silas, we were talking a little bit about the music videos that are on your website, and we were talking offline. And you're a main contributor in a few of those. Tell us about the importance of you guys doing these music videos that you're putting out.
Yeah, I mean, we love music videos. It's something that all three of us in the band get really excited about, and we all we just like kind of shooting the ideas back and forth, and all the possibilities of storytelling and just cool visuals, and it's just such a cool way to enhance the experience of a song. And obviously it's a huge medium right now with the way that everyone's looking at screens all the time, so it's a great time to be making videos, but really it's just a big part of our fun and our artistic expression. But I got into doing some of that filmmaking stuff myself, maybe 4 or so years ago. I had directed and edited a music video for us. The song is called Motivation, and it was just something I felt like I wanted to learn how to do. We hired a great cinematographer from Asheville named Andrew Anderson, and he filmed it. And I really just dove in and edited it without knowing what I was doing at all. But I loved it, and after that, I was kind of inspired to buy a camera, and a couple of friends had asked me to maybe direct some stuff for them. So I've just been getting into it over the last several years, and then I've done a number of things with the band where I partially edited it or partially shot it. Like we did a cover of "I'm Afraid of Americans" by David Bowie that we put out on Trump's inauguration, and then various music videos along the way that I've been kind of partially involved with. But this one that we put out a couple months ago, the first single from our new album, the single is called Wired. That's the first one for the Get Right band that I fully filmed the whole thing, edited the whole thing, directed it, and Jesse and JC were obviously involved in conceptualizing it and producing it, making it happen. But yeah, it was a really cool experience, and I got to actually, the main actress in the video is my niece, my 14 or 15-year-old, I guess she was 14 at that time, but 15 now, year old niece. And so it's really fun to work with her, and really just happy with how the video came out, and people have been, it's been getting really good response, and yeah, a lot of cool feedback on that.
Oh, for sure, man. And we'll actually we'll embed that video on the Mesh.tv underneath this podcast, so people can go
Cool.
and take a look at that as well. So
Awesome.
Silas, thanks again for coming to our podcast and coming on our podcast today.
My pleasure.
We really appreciate it. Where can folks find the Get Right Band online?
Yeah, well, so we're just thegetrightband.com for our website, and there's links up there where you can pre-order or buy the new record. But then, of course, you can also find us pretty much everywhere on the internet. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Instagram, Facebook, God knows what else. But we're around. We're easy to find.
Gotcha. So this has been Silas Durocher from the Get Right Band here on the Mesh. We appreciate him and the No Contact Concert Series and Codex Sound and Midwood Entertainment for making all this possible. And of course, head over to themesh.tv to check out all of our other shows on our network. Again, my name is Andrew Moose. This has been I'm With the Band here on the Mesh.
You wonder what your role is in this country and what your future is in it. From my point of view, no label, no slogan, no party, and no skin color, and indeed no religion is more important than the human being.
I don't know what's got into me lately. Maybe it's a phone, maybe it's this dull room. I feel wired, I feel wild. Yeah. I don't know why authority hates
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.